Hello, viewers of PokeMoshPit. Lead Speed here. And actually, it's been a while since I actually said that because really, I haven't uploaded here in quite a while, and by quite a while I mean quite a while. Heck, when was the last time you saw me upload here? In fact, it's been so long that maybe I might appear to be a new face to you guys, but not entirely. But you know, I was uploading here for a bit, and then got a bit busy and, you know, stuff went on, but nonetheless, I'm bringing you guys a Generation 5 underused match I had against one of my good friends, Eeveegirl22. And I believe it was in this particular game that I was trying out Darmanitan for the first time, so here we go! I lead with that Darmanitan, and she's gonna lead with Victini, and right off the bat, she's gonna go right for the U-turn and bring in Kingdra. Now, she outspeeds my Darmanitan because I also have a Scarch Pokemon as my lead as well. So seeing it go first, that gives me good information that it's choice scarfed, and I can take advantage of that later on. But seeing that Kingdra was her choice with the switch in, I'm just thinking Roserade would be the good switch in, especially since it's not the bulky set. This is more offensively inclined. And, you know, the grass stab move would definitely wreck Kingdra, so I'm gonna go for the Sludge Bomb, expecting her to switch out into her grass resist in the form of freaking Meganium, and I take it on in one shot, which is great, so I get the 6-5 advantage right off the bat. But of course, you know, Rhyperior is gonna do some work too, I guess, because I'm gonna switch him in on, I guess, the fire move or whatever Bikini wants to do, and she goes for the Thunder, predicting my Slowbro to switch him, but it doesn't quite work out because, you know, Rhyperior is actually a good switch in as well. But knowing that she was locked in, I can pretty much go for a sub, and Donphan's just gonna pretty much Earthquake me, but you know, it's gonna be a 3-hit KO on my end anyway, so I can pretty much take out this Donphan way before he can take out my Rhyperior, and then I could probably just switch him out for later in case Kingdra wants to come back in, because it's really not gonna be a good matchup. So yeah, it's pretty much looking fine for me right now, except the critical hit happens, and yeah, that kind of sucks, because Rhyperior might have been pretty useful later on, I guess, but I don't know. I just wanted to take out this Donphan, and that didn't quite happen with the way I wanted it to anyways. Now here, I probably make one of the most questionable plays ever. I say on a scale of 1 to 10 of questionable plays that I've ever done, I'd give it a 9. There's one other play in a different game, which, you know, I guess I'll upload on my own channel, that it's I don't know if yeah, it's literally the most questionable play I've ever made in my life. But regardless, I'm gonna have to switch out to my Azelf, knowing that this Mach Punch was fairly obvious, because why would you bring in Hitmonchan? That would be slower than an offensive Roserade unless you had the priority like Fake Out or Mach Punch. And, you know, I just thought Azelf could take either one with decently, because, you know, resisted or unstab Fake Out, you know, it's not gonna do all that much. But here, I thought that maybe she would stay and predicted me to U-turn out, but she actually just makes the safe play and goes into this Cofagrigus here, and of course, I'm not going to be able to do all that much, so I have to switch out, and this thing is going to pretty much start setting up Calm Minds. And it's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with, because I don't particularly have too strong of an answer, at least not right off the bat. I want to try to weaken this thing as much as possible. But, I mean, I got to get Rocks up first so that Victini will be crippled later on in the game, and it won't keep switching in and just spamming its Fire Stab or its Psychic Stab or Thunder in that case too. So that's exactly what I do. I go for the T-Wave just to maybe get some Parahaxes on this thing, just to make it a little bit easier to handle. Maybe get some lucky Parahax that will secure me the chance of taking this thing out later on. So I'm gonna switch to Darmanitan. I think it's gonna set up another Calm Mind, since there's no real point for Registeel to stay in anyways. But the Parahax does happen right on the switch, and so that made things a little bit easier for me. But seeing the damage from the Flare Blitz with Sheer Force, it looks like a 2-hit KO, but Sheer Force has been replaced with Mummy, so it's not going to get that boost. But nonetheless, I can pretty much go into Roserade if Darmanitan happens to get finished off here and it doesn't quite die. So, I mean, in case it wants to go for rest, I can at least, you know, spam these Storms or something, switch out, whatever I need to do. But I do get a critical hit, which I'm pretty sure made up for the critical hit that my Rhyperior took from that Earthquake from Donphan, which wouldn't have KO'd at all. But I go to Azelf knowing that it's the fastest Pokemon that I've got on the team, but Azelf is slower because that Victini has a Scarf, and I kind of don't want to take too big of a hit right now. I mean, even if like, oh, maybe I can live the hit, but nah, I kind of don't want to, and I want to see what the Victini wants to lock itself into, and the Fire Step, Searing Shot is definitely the reasonable choice. I mean, I have a Slowbro, which I'm going to bring in now, and knowing that Slowbro can pretty much take those all day long, I'm pretty much going to double switch out to my Roserade, because of that play I did, I am not going to be able to get a Say switch into Roserade unless I either let one of my other Pokemon die or I do a double switch like this one, and double switches is normally something I don't do all the time. It's not my preferred style. I'd rather predict switches and switch up moves just to maybe throw them off guard. That's kind of how I do it. I don't double switch all that much. But, I mean, if it's fairly obvious, then yeah, why not? But, whatever. Anyways, Hitmonchan finishes off Roserade with a Mach Punch. You know, I didn't really want to switch anything in. I mean, even if I did bring in Slowbro, I mean, Roserade really wasn't going to do that much at that low of HP. So, I mean, I may as well just get a safe switch into Slowbro and just start stalling this thing out a little bit, because really, the Thunder Punch, even with Iron Fist, it isn't going to do all that much, and I can pretty much start slacking off the damage. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing when I'm speeding this part up here. And at one point, I am going to predict her to switch out, thinking that I would just go for another slack off again and again, and I won't stop doing it. But here, I do decide to go with a Scald, just on the off chance that Jay's going to get tired of trying to attack me and just switch out and maybe get more damage in with Thunder. But that's exactly what happens. I'm pretty much going to get a Scald. It doesn't quite kill because I don't have max special attack, and, you know, Victini's kind of bulky in his own right. So, yeah, that was able to live that with very little amount of HP. I wouldn't say what some people say, or MBZ would say, a smidgen, but it's low enough, I guess. So, and it comes this Hitmonchan again, and I think right here, I'm actually trying to remember what I was going for here, but it didn't matter because of the Life of Recoil taking out the Hitmonchan for game. So that was a pretty interesting game, pretty fast-paced, barring the part with the Cofagrigus, but you know, it was a very fun match. I got to try out Darmanitan for the first time, and you know, it was kind of interesting because my opponent also brought some. I think some of these are you like Cofagrigus are you, but yeah, that thing would have actually given me some trouble if I didn't take it out. So yeah, that's definitely something I have to watch out for next time. If I ever build another team, I have to definitely watch out for bulky ghosts. Yeah, I don't know why I have trouble with those, but anyways, I'm not going to go on too much longer about that, but if you guys enjoyed this match and you want to see more from me or my opponent, our YouTube channels will be in the video description box below, so you could do that and, you know, leave a comment saying, like, what you think of this battle, you know, and as you can see, the Donphan was there too, but, you know, this was back when Donphan was actually in the underused tier, but now that he's moved out, you know, I'm going to miss him, I guess, because, I mean, I was going to make a team with Donphan for once, but I can no longer do that, but who knows? Do you think he'll ever move back down, or do you think he'll stay up in the higher ups? I don't know. We'll see what happens as the months passed. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, these be signing out. So, peace out, MoshPit.